What's up YouTube, how goes it? Welcome to another video. So if you ever wanted one of Apple's Magic keyboards without the absurd magical prices that they come at, well, the good news is there are plenty of alternatives in the industry already. One of the ones we're reviewing today is Seenda's Magic wireless keyboard. This is supposed to be a replacement, a low profile keyboard for Apple's own Magic keyboard, and in today's video we're gonna see if this keyboard has what it takes to be a adequate replacement, and of course if it's worth the budget friendly price that they're going with. As always guys, if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. From an unboxing perspective, you can see that Seenda kept it pretty simple. So basically you have graphics of the actual keyboard itself in the corresponding color, which is nice to see. On the backside you have some additional basic details, and that's pretty much it. Once you proceed to open the box itself, inside the first thing you notice is this rubber layer thingy. This is basically a protective pad for the actual keyboard. We'll come back to this in a second. Beyond that, you have the actual keyboard itself, nicely wrapped in some plastic wrapping, and we'll come back to that in a minute as well. Beyond that, you also have an instruction manual, quick start guide, reference and warranty information, you know, the stuff you need to actually start up the keyboard itself. And finally, you have a relatively small micro USB to USB cable. Presumably this is to charge the actual keyboard itself. From a design perspective, this keyboard weighs just over 1 pound, which is super light, and also the keyboard is super sleek and super slim in its form factor. This is obviously because they are trying to mimic Apple's Magic keyboard style. With that being said, of course, unfortunately the primary material here is hard TPU. There's no metallic finish. That is entirely acceptable, of course, because this is a budget keyboard and it costs considerably less than Apple's own Magic keyboard. Starting with the top side, I have to say the plastic is definitely top notch. It doesn't feel cheap or flimsy in the slightest, and for the most part you'll find this is a pretty well constructed device. I have to say that I was actually deceived for a good minute when I saw the top side of the keyboard and I thought the casing was actually metallic because of the color and the way it looks, but when you feel it, you knock on it and very quickly realize this is in fact hard TPU. This is great for the eyes, however if you do like that cold metallic touch, you will not get that here. Making our way to the rear side of the keyboard, you can see you have a micro USB port. Unfortunately, there is no USB-C port here, which is a real shame. It would have been nice given that some other keyboards do offer that in this price range. However, it's not a deal breaker by any means. As you make your way to the bottom side of the keyboard, you have another hard TPU finish, and you actually have rubber grips to make sure the keyboard stays in place. Also, you'll notice you have this rectangular lift. This serves as the storage place for the batteries themselves and also serves as a natural raise for the keyboard. Let's talk about the keyboard layout. So you can see obviously that this keyboard is optimized for macOS devices because you have the option and command keys as opposed to having the Windows and control keys. However, just a FYI, you can still use this with a Windows device as long as it has a built-in Bluetooth receiver. Other than that, you can see the keys are pretty wide, so it's going to be easy to type on this thing and you won't make a lot of typos. Another thing worth noting is that you do have the inclusion of a full 10-key number pad, which is great from a productivity point of view. Unfortunately, there are no dedicated media keys. However, they are all baked into the traditional function keys, which can be accessed using the alternative function key located at the bottom. You'll also notice directly above the number pad at the top right corner is where you have your power button. Holding this for 3 seconds will turn the device on or off. Right next to that, you'll notice you have 3 Bluetooth buttons. Each one of these corresponds to a Bluetooth device you can sync, which means you can actually have up to 3 active Bluetooth devices connected to this keyboard and switch between them by pressing any of those buttons. Pretty thoughtful from a layout perspective. It's also worth noting that this keyboard is fully backlit. In fact, it comes in 3 separate brightness settings, all of which I found to be more than adequate for all kinds of use cases in a darker setting. Furthermore, on top of that, you actually have a total of 7 unique configurable colors which you can swap through with the keyboard itself, and I have to say all of them look pretty nice and vibrant. Compare this to the $150 Magic keyboard Apple sells, which has no backlighting whatsoever. This is definitely great value right here from this perspective. Let's talk about the most important aspect in a keyboard, which is of course the typing experience. So the keys are nice and wide, which means you won't make very many typos. Also, I appreciate the fact that the keys are sturdy and they don't feel finicky or cheap in the slightest, which is often the case with budget keyboards. Also, it is worth noting that this is a pretty close one-to-one experience when compared to Apple's own Magic keyboard, and that is of course because Seenda has opted to use a scissor switch mechanism as well. I will say, however, when you use this thing right next to, let's say, Apple's MacBook Pro Magic Keyboard, I found that the Magic Keyboard has slightly more travel. Also, the key finish is slightly less harsh on the Magic Keyboard, whereas on Seenda it's a little bit more harsh. But again, these are things you would only ever notice if you put it right next to it and use it at the exact same time for prolonged periods. Furthermore, it's worth noting there is a little bit of flex in the center area of the keyboard. You will notice this ever so slightly if you are a hard presser such as myself, and unfortunately this is because it's made of a hard TPU base, so it's not as reinforced as the metallic finishes are with Apple's own Magic Keyboard or some other premium or high-end low profile keyboards. But overall, this will for the most part not be enough to disturb your workflow, and you probably won't notice it unless you specifically go looking for it. A wise man once said, a wireless product is only ever as good as its battery life. Of course, with that being said, Seenda claims you can get up to 16 hours of battery life with the backlighting fully on at maximum brightness. In my personal experience, I got around 14.5 hours before this thing went out of battery, but to be fair, I was consistently using a backlighting always on, and I tried to purposely keep it active as long as possible. However, Seenda also claims that with the backlighting off, you can get up to 400 hours of usage. I don't find this hard to believe. I haven't used the keyboard for that long personally, so I can't say, but since charging it once, I haven't had to charge it again because I've mostly been keeping the backlighting off or at the lowest setting. So I think from a battery perspective, unless you're a heavy backlight user, you'll be just fine. Seenda has also incorporated some smart battery savings features, such as, for example, if you're not using the keyboard for 5 minutes, the backlighting automatically deactivates, and if the keyboard is inactive for 30 minutes or longer, the keyboard actually shuts down and goes in standby mode to further preserve battery life. My final take on this keyboard is that this is fantastic value given the fact this keyboard only costs about $50 up here in Canada. It offers a fully backlit keyboard with 7 configurable colors. Furthermore, you also get up to 3 Bluetooth connections that you can use simultaneously and swap between actively, and beyond that you have a scissor switch mechanism that comes pretty close to the experience you'd find on Apple's own Magic Keyboard series. Of course, with that being said, one of the downsides of this keyboard is that unfortunately it has a hard TPU build, so it won't feel as premium as more expensive keyboards in the low profile wireless industry often do, and the byproduct of this as well is that you do have a little bit of flex in the center area. Some people will not notice this whatsoever, but people who have heavy presses might slightly notice this flex, and for some people it might not be the ideal preference. However, I can assure you for the vast majority of people this will not be an issue. Overall, this keyboard offers a lot of value. It gives you everything you'd get in the Magic Keyboard and then some. I would definitely recommend it to the average user. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, hit that like button. Consider subscribing to my channel. I'll leave a link for the product in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Soul of Tech, logging out.